Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today I'm going to be talking about Married at First Sight. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But don't forget to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Y'all, majority of this episode could have just been a series of montages. Going to sit down and talk with people's families should not have filled up a whole 2-hour episode, or at least majority of it. That was absolutely ridiculous. I feel like at least half of this episode should have been the first part of their honeymoon, not the first night, maybe the first couple of days, because that was ridiculous. They didn't really give us much this episode, but I can guarantee you I'm still about to talk for 25 minutes. I don't know how. Amelia and Bennett. That's Amelia. That is Amelia. Amelia has a constant. That's Amelia's resting face. Is a full-on show every one of your teeth smile. Like, that's Amelia's resting, I'm just chilling face, okay? I do think she's really excited. I think her and Bennett are really feeling each other. They seem to be clicking the most. They're both musically inclined, so as he was undoing her dress, they started like coming up with their own song, and it's like, yeah, y'all are perfect for each other. They did that pretty much the whole time they were together, came up with little ditties, little bops for them to be singing to each other. I can imagine by the end of this show they're gonna like have a full-on like play or medley dedicated to their love. So when they were about to get into bed, Bennett had on a full-on gown, like just a full-on gown, no shorts underneath. She kept calling it a dress, but you know what, back in the day, I believe that's what men wore to bed. So I mean, I'm not completely thrown off by it, but it was just funny to see how he was stretching out the gown in order to cuddle up inside of it. It threw her off a little bit too, but she was like so enamored by him that she really embraced it. And I believe she wore a onesie. Like, I couldn't see the feet, but she wore a onesie. So they both had interesting night clothes as the first night of meeting your husband and wife. Then they switched glasses, and it turns out they have the exact same glasses. Bennett wasn't quite sure if they were flirting, but he felt like it. It was just weird. Well, Bennett went to go meet with her mom and brother. The mother says she never noticed his red flags, so she wouldn't be able to tell if something was wrong with Bennett or not. And Amelia tends to be the same way, so we'll see, you know, how this goes. I feel like they're good for each other, though. So she asked him if he was willing to move because Amelia is done with medical school, but she's going to have to do a residency, and she was wondering if Bennett would be willing to move because she applied a bunch of different places all over the country, and he said he's open to it. Then Amelia went to go meet with Bennett's mom, dad, and sister, and Amelia's mom and brother were very tame. His mama is very like, she's nice, but she's very aggressive and in your face. Do you like him? How was it last night? It was just like, chill. Like, she means well, but she just so in your face about it. His sister, I feel like she's on even another level than Amelia and Bennett, because she came bearing gifts, but it was a sucker wrapped in a napkin, and I'm just like, and she said, "This represents your love and the various layers." Like, do you understand how, like, Amelia accepted it and was fine with it, but can you imagine going to dinner and your husband's wife offering that to you as a gift, as a symbol of your love? Like, I wouldn't even know how to act. The mother told her to savor every lick. Another awkward moment was the mother professing her undying love for Bennett. And even if I wasn't his mother, you know, you have a certain love that you have for kids, but Bennett, I love him even more. And I'm just like, you have another child sitting there. I hope that you feel the same way about her, because it was getting real awkward. And then I guess the sister decided to break up the tension that she was feeling by letting her know Bennett thinks having biological children is morally unethical. So I hope y'all have that conversation soon. I'm just thinking to myself, like, girl, that is their business to discuss with each other. Why are you the one announcing that to her? These family members know they was overstepping their boundaries. So afterwards, her and Bennett came back together and they talked about the whole children thing. And he does feel like, I'm laughing because Bennett has these strong convictions. Like, he was talking about being vegetarian, and then he's talking about, well, you know, I eat meat here and there. Then he was talking about this strong conviction he has for not overpopulating the world with biological children, because there's already kids here to adopt, and he much rather adopt, but he's open to his wife having kids. It's like, are you like steadfast to these convictions, or are these just things that pop in your head that you're like, I'm gonna stick with this today, but tomorrow it might be something else? Either way, she says she's not opposed to adopting, so I think they might have their own biological children and maybe adopt. Fine, I see nothing wrong with that. I do agree with him. There are plenty of children in this world to adopt, but who doesn't want their own biological child? I don't see anything wrong with that. When they headed on their vacation, they're going to Mexico, by the way. Amelia had the most interesting vacation outfit out of them all. I feel like all the other couples can see how well they are matched, and you know, they all agree that they have like this genuine connection already. And Amelia is already talking about how she thinks this is like the pinnacle of her life so far. And Bennett was like, he just doesn't want to jinx it, because, you know, it's kind of early to be saying that. But I can understand why she would say this is like the pinnacle, because you getting married for most people is like kind of like the start of the rest of your life. That's a major turning point in your story. So I can understand where she was coming from with that. Now, let's move on to Brett and Olivia. Olivia is like giving Brett a lot of compliments. She's bigging him up a lot without really getting much. Like, Brett hasn't done much to prove to her that he's a good person other than the bare minimum. So I understand that she's excited about getting married, and you know that they're getting along so far, but for her to just be constantly like, he's so great, he's so great in front of him, calm down, because you don't know him yet. We already seen Brett's worst behavior, so obviously we know, but I just don't think a woman should just constantly, you know, give these men all these compliments and he didn't earn them yet. I feel like that's kind of where Mindy went wrong. But they do seem to be gelling very naturally, I have to admit. She had dinner with his brothers, and the brothers was like, we stalked you on the internet and found nothing but good responses. And it's like, shut up. Like, I don't care that you looked me up on the internet. Like, it's like he was trying to intimidate her, but I found good responses. Leave me alone. They asked her about her wanting kids, and she says she's indifferent to kids and she prefers not to have kids. She wants to basically, you know, do all the things that she wants to do in life. If you say you're indifferent to kids, you don't need to be having kids. So I hope Brett doesn't want kids, because she don't need to be having nobody's kids if she don't want them. I feel like that's why we have a lot of negligent or, you know, unfit parents now, because they didn't want to be parents in the first place. So he met with her mom, dad, and stepdad, and he said he felt like he got the best match out of the bunch, but he ain't fooling me with them glasses on. I know what you're trying to do. He put on his best behavior for the mom and the dad and the stepdad, put on the glasses, sitting up straight, smiling. You ain't fooling me, Brett. So Brett revealed that he's agnostic and he doesn't believe in organized religion, because her dad asked about being a Christian, and that was his response. And they seem to, he says he respects it, so he'll still uphold those values, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. her mom told him that her biggest pet peeve is rude people. And I'm just like, ooh, well, she in for a rude awakening because his whole family seems to be on the rude side of things. And then when they both came together, they were just talking about how everything was just going so smoothly. And there hasn't been a drama bomb yet. And I'm like, girl, if only you knew, he is the drama bomb. We'll see how that goes, y'all. He might prove us all wrong, but I doubt it. Let's move on to Christina and Henry. The cringe. The cringe. Like, I have like, oh, I have the urge to want to fast forward through them every single time. I just don't. I can't. It's too much. I physically cannot take it. Like, I don't even want to look. Ugh. That's the most uncomfortable stuff to watch I've ever seen in my life. And Henry, you have to talk. You have to talk. You have to say something. You have to ask questions. You have to give more than a one-word answer. You are a grown man. You should be able to cultivate a conversation with anybody, especially your wife who you just met, and y'all have everything to talk about. There's literally Google first date questions and ask them if you don't know what to do. Like, you need to open up. You need to loosen up. Shake it out. Something. He should not be on this show. I think I said that last time. I'm really saying it this time. He should not have been chosen. Instead, he needs to be on a Hitch. You remember the movie Hitch? He needs to be on a Hitch style show, like somebody said on my last live. And somebody needs to be helping him learn how to talk to women, because this is absolutely ridiculous for a grown man to be acting like that. Okay, I had to get that out first. So she's big on travel. She's a flight attendant, so she's been all over the world to various countries. She's well traveled, and he's never been out of the country. He said his favorite place that he's ever been was West Virginia. Now, I mean, I haven't been out of the country, so I'm not going to sit up here and judge him for that. I do think Christina was a little bit, because she was being a low-key, you know, condescending a tad bit throughout this whole episode when it comes to that. So she met with his mom, dad, and aunts, and his dad was just, he was geared up to embarrass him some more. He said he's hairy like a bat. I'm like, do you like him? Do you like your child? Like, why are you so dead set on embarrassing him? I think he low-key be trying to like push him out of his shell, but I want you to know, shaming him is not gonna help. That's probably why he's so withdrawn now, because you constantly embarrass him and constantly point out all of his flaws. Speaking as someone who was very, you know, introverted and shy, when people would poke at me like that, it would make me want to withdraw even more. So yeah, his daddy really, I know a lot of people like his dad, but his dad really rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't like the way he's consistently tearing his own son down. Why? I mean, he called him a mama's boy. He said he pouts, that he's not confrontational, and basically you could dominate over his life. And she was like, you know, well, in my past relationships, I've been the submissive person, so maybe I'll be the one to step up. Maybe I need to be the one to step up, you know, in a relationship. And he was like, no, that's sad. I was like, get me out of here. Get me out. I can't. She's trying to make the best out of this, and you're making the worst out of it. But Christina says she loved the daddy. And I'm just like, you know what? They're going to beat down his self-esteem together simultaneously. So overall, I feel like her words are not matching their interactions. Like, in her confessional, she's talking about how much they're like, you know, vibing and how this is a great experience and this and that. And what we're seeing seems to be the complete opposite. Once again, I still think she's trying to force a rebound husband out of this. I feel like she's trying to get back at whoever she just broke up with, her ex, because ain't no way. If we're this uncomfortable watching it, I can't imagine living it. Let's talk about Miles and Karen. So the night of their wedding, Woody and Amani stopped by their room. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I would have been over it. I would have been over. Don't just pop up on our wedding night. You don't know what's going on in here. I mean, I'm one of those people, I like to be alerted before you come over. You know, let me know. And before you just let somebody in the room, ask me. Like, I understand everybody's excited. This is your best friend. And I understand the fact that they didn't get to go to each other's wedding. And they probably just want to see each other, meet each other's wife. It's just like bubbled up with emotions. But you need to communicate better. This is not finna be a frat house where the door just swing back and forth like that. See, that's something I would have to set my boundary early with that. Like, I didn't mind them coming in necessarily if she didn't mind, but ask me first. Because Karen was laid out coughing. I think she was low-key drunk too. So maybe she didn't want to be seen like that. They seemed to really get along though. Like, I mean, it was probably only like 2 or 3 minutes. But they, you know, Amani and Karen, they seem like they have similar personalities. Like, they're both laid back. And Woody and Miles, they're very like outgoing and friendly. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like they're gonna make a good team as far as, you know, being friends. And I think that Miles is gonna help Woody as far as, you know, giving him good advice on how to be a good husband, even though he's never been a husband. But you know what I mean. Miles has like, he's very considerate, and I think he'll be able to like talk Woody off the ledge when he's wrong. So last week when he was massaging her feet, I thought that was really cute. But this week I'm like, now Miles, don't get regulated to the friend zone, because I feel like it could slip there really easily by how she's treating him. You know what I'm saying? Like, massage my feet, take the pins out of my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, all right, Miles, we don't slip into the friend zone. She literally put a whole blockade pillow in between them, so there's no way there was gonna be any sort of cuddling that night. You know, they were really playful with each other. They were able to joke around and, you know, poke at each other. I thought that was cute. But like I said, don't get stuck in no friend zone. Miles meets with her family, and her father does not want to be filmed, so he was not there. But she does have a very present father. The mother was really standoffish at first. She was dead serious. She was not, you know, playing with Miles. I think she was just putting on a tough exterior because she wants somebody to press him. Somebody got to press him. So she was asking him basically, how does he plan on, you know, taking care of her? He said he plans to put her first and make her comfortable. The mom says she wants to make sure that she can trust him and he won't just string her along. And I feel like Miles was like taking the punches like a champ. He was answering very genuinely and as honest as possible. And by the end of it, he won her over. She said he's warm, gentle, and kind. And he seems to really be able to fit in with the family. And she really likes him because he's very sincere. And she says she's going to get Karen together if she start acting up. That's basically what she was saying. And I'm like, yes, I'm so glad he won her mom over, because I feel like that's gonna win Karen over a little bit. She seems like someone who really cares about how her mother feels about her mate. So I feel like, yeah, Karen, you can chill now. Calm down a little bit, because your mom likes him, so it's all good. So Karen went to go meet with his family. And by the way, Karen has the most beautiful hair. Like, I loved her hair in that scene. A1, she has beautiful hair. His mama be doing too much. His mom she another one who kind of oversteps the boundaries a little bit. She was asking whether Karen was submissive, not S&M. I hope you're not asking about that. And you could kind of see why the mom and the dad are not together anymore, because he was looking out like, what did you say? He was so over her for asking that. Karen says she prefers to be submissive, but she just wants someone that she can trust to lead the family. he will be the head, but she wants to be the neck. And I thought that was a great analogy. His dad said that he's very sensitive and he just wants to please. The mom said his heart is tender and don't mistake that for weakness. And if you are going to hurt my baby, you bring him back to me and I'll nurse him back to health. I'm just like, can you gonna I'm just thinking, like, the mom is really gonna have to take a few steps back from Miles. He's married now. You can't have him the way you once did. You know what I'm saying? That's still your child, but this whole mama's boy thing is gonna scare Karen away. You need to chill. I thought that was gonna be Karen's mama. So before the Mexico trip, they got their hair braided or whatever. I'm like, when did y'all find time to get box braids and get cornrows? Like, that's like a nice little chunk of time that you have to take to get your hair braided. But they did, and they were cute. Miles had a whole suitcase dedicated to his shoes, and I'm like, you have a whole suitcase dedicated to just your shoes. I need to know how many shoes you have, because I have a lot of shoes. And we ain't finna be fighting over closet space, because I'm gonna win. You could put yours in a little bin up under the bed, but I'm getting the closet. So when they're on their honeymoon and they, like, I guess they're like getting in the bed, they had their robes on or whatever. She's sitting on the bed, and it's like, she was saying how she wants to sleep on top of the covers at night. He was like, well, I could sleep under, you know, I guess to make her more comfortable. She was like, no, you need to sleep on top too. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe she really is getting comfortable with him. But it's like she was already sitting in the bed, and when he came to sit on the bed, she immediately got up and moved to the head of the bed. I'm just like, so are you comfortable with him or not? And then here we go with the pillow barrier once again. So I don't know. She's giving mixed signals for me. For me, she's giving him mixed signals. Woody and Amani, my favorite. So she did a really vulnerable thing, taking off her makeup. That could be very, you know, off-putting for a lot of women who, you know, keep a full face on. But Woody liked what he saw, so she didn't have nothing to be worried about. Woody tied his hair with a do-rag, and I'm like, where are these black women's bonnets? Where are they silk scarves? They just went to bed with head to pillow. I'm shocked. Like, I just knew I was gonna see some sort of hair tie. So next morning when they woke up, they were eating their breakfast in bed, and he started to smack child, and she was just like, hold up now. We ain't finna do all this smacking up in my ear. I thought that was hilarious. Personally, smacking doesn't bother me unless it's a really obnoxious, loud smacking. I really don't, like, you know, you're gonna make some noises when you eat. But there are some people in this world who really, like, it irritates them so bad. I used to have a roommate that was like that, and she got on my nerves because I couldn't eat in our room. I would have my mouth closed, chewing with my mouth closed. She was like, you have really thin cheeks. I can still hear you chewing. Put on some headphones. I don't know what to tell you. So she met with his mom, grandmother, and friends. And the grandmother was like completely on defense mode for whatever reason. When she brought up the smacking, the grandmother was like, I ain't never heard him smack. And I done seen him be starving, and he ain't never smacked in front of me. I was just like, okay. And she asked about living with him, and the grandma was, living with him is smooth. I ain't had no problem living with him. It's like, grandma, okay, calm down. We know Woody is not perfect. Like, chill. She was like on defense mode. But his mama told the truth. She said she has seen the devil come out of him. And I was like, what does that mean? That would have scared the devil out of me. What? You seen the devil come out of him? The mother was kind of doing too much to me. She didn't have to go there. You know, she could say that, well, you know, Woody has his ways, but she didn't have to, like, put him on Front Street like that. And it kind of made Amani, like, concerned, like, look, I don't do the hollering, I don't do the screaming, I don't do all that. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to let him know. And his mother was like, how you gonna calm him down? And she was like, you know, he's gonna have to go take a walk and get his head right. What do you mean, how am I gonna calm him down? That's a grown man. So next he met with her dad, mother, and stepmother. They asked him about past relationships. Had he ever been in a long-term relationship? He said he had a 4-year relationship and they were just not compatible. They had bad communication and they both cheated. Woody was being real and raw. I'm gonna tell you, because I don't know if that many people that would have been that honest with their significant other's parents. But he totally went there, and I'm like, I at least give him kudos for being honest. They asked him, well, do you plan on being faithful? Obviously, he said he wants to stay faithful. He wants to be married forever. So he seems like he has been through the proper steps to fix certain behaviors. As we see in the next scene when he meets with Amani and she confronts him about his past anger issues, and he says he went through counseling and that really helped him with his anger. The mother could have mentioned that. Maybe she didn't know, but she could have brought that part up too if you're gonna throw him up under the bus. Yeah, I'm glad Amani gave him a chance to explain himself and was very open to the conversation. She seems like the calm to his, you know, big personality. I feel like they're like very well matched on that end. When they went to Mexico and they're on their first night, she said maybe they'll take a bath in their huge, you know, bathtub. They'll get in the bathtub, and she was like, but I still got on my chastity belt. I'm like, girl, ain't no sense in teasing nobody now. Like, I don't understand these people that want to get in a tub together, but you don't want to consummate the marriage. Like, don't be teasing people. But he said he knocked off 2 notches. Apparently there's a notch system in place and Woody has been like hitting certain notches to unlock the chastity belt. Y'all, I really cannot. She says she's not trying to rush into sex, so I think that's her way of just taking it slow. So I can respect that. So overall, I can see 3 out of these 5 couples actually making it so far. The other 2, I think y'all already know, Brett and Olivia, and Christina and Henry. I could just see the shoe dropping at any point in time. I feel like Henry and Christina don't even have a chance. But either way, y'all let me know what y'all think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.